there, JV, guess what? Hopefully it's still Tuesday. First and foremost, a quick public service announcement. Team Rem, no. On to our future program. Now, much like the rest of the internet, I've been a little bit beyond fascinated with the Pokemon Go app that released in select countries not much more than a week and some ago. And while I totally booked a flight to Australia to legally download the game, I wasted no time upon returning home on living out my childhood dream and collecting them all. Just what you do. Except for my case, it seems like them all tends to be just Drowsy and Rattata in, you know, the bulk. Rattata? 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 I've always called them Rattata. Are they actually Rattatas? Andrew's official review, 3.75 out of 5. While it is a lot of fun traveling around local landmarks, collecting Pokemon, getting Pokeballs, and challenging Pokemon in the middle of the street who are about to be ran over by random vehicles, the fact that the game lacks any sort of trading system and you have no real way of adding friends through the app program is a bit of a bummer. Also, the game gets a tad grindy. To level them up, you have to catch a million of the bastards. So now we got that mundane bandwagon review of the game. Oh my goodness, I'm going to tell you all about my experience with the game. I'm going to move on to something a little bit more interesting and a little bit more me. I'm going to talk about something I've noticed with the game, in specific, the community based around this app, which is, while only a week and a half old, a pretty solid community. So when it comes to the community, let's look at the main thing that are dividing the community / uniting the community, and that are the 3 teams. You have your 3 teams, your yellow team, your red team, your blue team, and after level 5, you pick one of those. Every team has a little blurb explaining why they're a wonderful choice and what makes them great, but I haven't seen any real indication that there's any game-changing effects for choosing one of the teams, aside from just a cosmetic change. You choose the one that sounds like you're pretty much down with it, and as you can tell, most everyone goes red or blue, specifically red. Very, very red. And it seems that once you join the team, the only way to get out of the team and to change the team is just start a new profile, which a bit strange, but okay, I'll go with it. This, of course, leads to a level of competitiveness that, while not uncommon for gamers, and let's be honest here, this is a game, doesn't seem to sit exclusively within the realm of the game format, because there's no in-game chat. And while, for my experiences anyway, this has been little more than friendly jabs at other teams, haha, Team Red, you're so vicious and mean, lol. Team Instinct, represent! I've heard and seen plenty of other stories that's more akin to bullying and harassment. But honestly though, we're like the Hufflepuff of the Pokemon world. Just everyone wants to be friends. I like to put something forward here that, while not excusing that behavior, kind of explains it. It doesn't really matter what format you look at, there are people out there who live for the sole purpose of making someone else's life a living hell. So you're the reason why the internet's so bad. On the contrary, I've had many wonderful experiences with this game myself, bonding with friends and strangers alike over our wonderful digital quest to be the best like no one ever was. To catch them was our real test, to train them was our cause. It seems to be an almost magical icebreaker when you look over, see someone staring at their phone, flicking away at it, and you ask them, what team are you on? Their face lights up when they realize you're part of the same digital fantasy quest to be the best trainer of them all, because let's be honest, since we were all 12, or at least a fair portion of us were in that age category, and Pokemon first came out, we want to be doing this shit, and now we have the opportunity. It's pretty exciting. 2016, what a magical year to be alive. As a matter of fact, I was out catching Pokemon with some newfound Pokenerds that I had met literally just the other night, and while we were all part of separate teams, we had known each other for all 15 minutes, we were cheering each other on, we were congratulating each other, especially when one of our members managed to collect that elusive Electabuzz, because that prick is hard to catch. We laughed and joked, we encouraged each other over our accomplishments, we had a wonderful time, and despite the fact that we were all part of separate teams, we had a great time bonding over this common experience. On that note about bonding over common experiences, sorry about that, tripod? In fact, just quite recently, there's a thing emerged called the Loogie Association, which is trying to get all players to coexist peaceably, because even though this game's only been out a week, for most places in the world, the fact that these borders have gone up and these players are starting to pick at each other's throats, it's not a good sign. But the fact that this group has emerged online on its own, this wasn't prompted by the developers or anything, this is just a group emerging, trying to get all the players to calm down, keep this a lighthearted, fun place. We're all living out the same dream we had as kids, so let's all just chill a little. Let's all just have a good time with this. Doesn't matter if you're red, blue, yellow, or green, because if there's a green team, I'd be on that team. You don't understand why this lore is significant and why Lugia is the choice, not Ho-Oh, because Ho-Oh. I recommend checking out the Pokemon The Movie 2000, which was an awesome movie. Keep in mind, this game has only been out for a week, and we're already starting to see groups organizing around this idea of keeping this thing together, keeping this thing safe and fun for everyone involved. Trying to keep this civil. There's a lot of other online gaming communities that have a hard time struggling with this sort of thing. Meanwhile, this little thing has just kind of popped up and everyone's on board with it, for the most part. There aren't people who are on board with it, but, you know, to each their own. I'm not one to judge, but odds are good if you're not for it. You're either very passionate about your team, which I'm cool with, or a troll, in which case...
So you're the reason why the internet's so bad.
let's look at this from the perspective of the real world. We are currently living in a time that seems horrifically awful to live in, with the mass civilian and police shootings going on in the States, suicide bombings continuing basically unchecked in various countries in the Middle East, as well as humanitarian crises around the world in just about every country, including those you can't even pronounce. It seems like this is the shittiest time in the world to be alive. And yet we see a game where people are excited just to go out and do something silly, something arbitrary, something that really doesn't cost you too much money.
Notwithstanding the buying of a smartphone and, having a data plan and all that, which, pricey, but compared to some other forms of entertainment, not nearly as pricey.
To the current trainers out there, thank you for keeping this game a fun environment. Thank you for sticking with it and for being just as excited as I am when you see someone else wandering around trying to catch a Zubat, because Zubat's an asshole. To those of you who didn't travel to Australia to acquire the game early, we look forward to having you join the group. Us trainers who have been playing it for a week or so have been having a great time, or as the internet likes to call us, Garys. And to all the others, we hope you find something to keep you included, to keep you going, and have some fun. And as always, if you like this video, leave a big old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, a big old thumbs down works too. Be sure to check on Tuesdays when I upload, Fridays when Sarah uploads, and we're starting to get back in the swing of gamings on Sundays. Hopefully you'll see a game. It's probably going to be another game for myself this coming Sunday, but it may be Minecraft, or as we call it, Cultcraft. Until the next video, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Catch 'em all. Do it. Team Rem, no.